Welcome back to Hackathon Entertainment TV. I'm Mr. Hackathon. I bring you the story behind every hack. On this channel, we have a tutorial series that show you how to make great hackathon projects without coding. In this particular video, what I'm going to do is show you how to make a multi-page Chrome extension without coding at all. To do this, we're going to use a tool called Builder. And I believe it's about 20 a month for the pro version. Let's see, let's just double check that. Yep, about 29 a month for the pro version, but you can have a 30-day free trial. You're going to need a pro version to be able to export Chrome extensions, which is available on the free trial. What we're actually going to make is a Chrome extension just like this. So what is happening here is I'm using a built-in feature with Builder to be able to get the web page information right here. I'm just getting the domain. Then I have a link. As you can see, the cursor actually changes when I hover over, click the next page. I click the next page. I have something that says this is so cool, and I can go back. So there's a couple things actually happening here. It's a very, very simple Chrome extension, but it teaches you the basic concepts of not just Chrome extensions, but Builder in general. So we're going to head over to the studio. And I'm going to create a new project. So I'm going to jump out this project and create a new project. Maybe I open a new tab and create it so I can use my other project as a reference. So let's see. So as you can see, it brings up this projects dashboard. I have some projects, but we're going to call it Mr. Hackathon extension. Oh, sorry. We're going to click on new project. We're going to call it Mr. Hackathon extension. And we're going to change to Europe because I'm based in Europe. And we just want to wait for that to load for a minute or two. So now that that's loaded, it takes you to this workspace for Builder. It's going to ask us to drag and drop pages, so it can give us a template to start with. As you can see, there's some really nice templates here, but we're going to start with a blank page and we're going to keep it extremely simple. Right here, I have a page body. What I'm going to do is add an element. I'm going to add a header, a heading element. So we're going to drag and drop that. I'm also going to add a div because we want to give it a container. And you can see this tree right here, this element tree. And this allows you to easily move elements, nest elements, which I actually want to do with this. It allows you to easily rename elements. So when you click on an element, it shows up on this right panel. So we're going to click back on div. We're going to call this main. Just change the name so we have a heading. And what we also want, if we look at my Chrome extension, if I open that, so I have something that says click here for the next page. And so I'm going to add a paragraph. And that's also going to say, I'll just put click here this time. What we also want to do to create this second page is we want to add another div on this same page. So to do that, I'm just going to continue to do what I was doing. I'm going to add a div. I don't want that there. I actually want that like that. I am going to name this div. What should I name this div? Let's name it next. And inside here, I want to do two things. I want to add another div. And this will make a little bit more sense in a minute. Oh, I did this wrong. So let's go back. Let's remove that. So I didn't mean to add a new page. So I want to delete the page. I want to zoom out a little bit. I want to go back to my original page and I want to add a child element. I'm going to add a div. And I'm going to add something that's called, I'm going to add a paragraph. The best way to do this is probably just hover this new child element, paragraph, and I'm going to say back. So the next thing I want to do is create the second page. And to create the second page, I am going to just move over here, go to page, blank page. I'm actually going to rename this second page. Let's just rename this second page. Rename that second page. We're going to move up so we can see everything. So, okay, we have that. So now we can see everything. What I want to do is, again, add, let's see how I did it here. I don't think I added a div. I think I just added the heading. Yep, so we're going to do that. We're going to add a heading. So we're going to add a child element, add a heading, or it's not a header that I want, it's a heading. So we're going to go back, moving a little bit too fast. So we add a heading. And I'm going to say, welcome to Hackathon Entertainment TV. So why are we doing it like this? So we have our first page, we have our second page, and what it's doing, the way we're going to do it is not flipping from this page to this page. What we're going to do is take this second page and embed it in the first page in this div element. So the way we do that is by using what is called flows. And in Builder, flows are these automated workflows to be able to create functionality and actions. So the first workflow we want to do to be able to switch from one page to another is we want to create some kind of next page flow. So I'm going to create a new flow. I'm going to say next page. And now I can add actions to this automated flow that creates the functionality in Builder. So I think the first action I'm going to add is hide. And I want to hide an element, and the element I want to have it hide is this main div right here. Remember, we're not switching from one page to another, we're embedding the second page into the first page. So to the user, it looks like, if I go back here, To the user, it looks like we're switching from one page to the next, but actually this is being embedded in the first page. So this is just one page. Hopefully that makes sense. So we go back. So we're going to completely hide this main element. And what we actually want to do is show this element. This, let's see. We want to show this element. There was a step I skipped. So right now, if we preview this, we can actually preview this. You have to select a home page to be able to preview, and I called this new page. So before we let that be our home page, let's just change the name and let it be called homepage. Page properties. We're going to change the name and call it homepage. Or you can just call it home. And now we're going to preview. We're going to make homepage. And we set the homepage, and now we created a live route. So what you can actually see now is as soon as this loads, we had this back button. But we don't want that back button there to be on the first load. So what we're going to do is also hide this as soon as the page loads. So if we go back, we want to go to this page. We want to go to flows, and we want to make a page load flow. So on the page load, we want some things to happen. We want to hide completely an element. What element do we want to hide completely? We want to hide completely the next element. So now, I think I should just be able to refresh this, because this is a live preview. So right now, you can't see that next. So you can just see the header, which right now is not dynamic, but we will make that dynamic. And you can see the click here. Right now, you can't hover over that and the cursor change. And right now, there's no hyperlink. But we have set up the foundation to be able to do these things. If I go back, I think the first thing we're going to do is create the hyperlink. So how we're going to do this is when they click here, let me see what flows I have. We want to, when they click on the click here, we want to create an event. And the event we want to create when the user clicks on it is next page. So when the user clicks here, next page, it triggers, when the user click here, it triggers a workflow called next page. And this workflow automatically hides the main and it shows the next div. Just to show you what this looks like, if I refresh this, when I click here, you can see it does change. I think there's an error right here. So let's see where I went wrong. Okay, there is something I'm missing. The functionality to hide and show, we know that's working. But what we haven't done is we haven't embedded this second page into this first page yet. So that's what we're going to do right now. And to do that, what we want to do is another workflow. If I just double check my original. Okay. So the way I want to do this is to open page into the container. So if I go back to my flows, When the user clicks next page, I want to hide this top part, the main div. 2, I want to show the next div. But 3, I want to also add an action, and I want to open, open page into container. That's what I want to do. And the page I want to open is the second page. I want to open the second page into the current page, and the element I want to open it into is this div right here. So this will make sense. Once we go to our live preview, we refresh, it should take us back to our home page. When we click here, as you can see now, it says welcome to Hackathon Entertainment TV. We haven't created the action to go back. We will do that right now. So the way we want to do this is we want to go to this second page this time. Let's see. Oh no, we can make it on this first page. I believe we can make it on this first page. I'm going to call it Go Home. And I want to trigger something that hides one div and shows the other div. So I'm going to say hide completely the next div. And I'm going to say show main div. So let's double check that is how we want it. And next we want to add an event on the click button that is connected to this Go Home. So when we preview this, we should be able to go back and forth. So we have our static title, we have our click here link, we click here, it takes us to our second page, which is actually embedded in the first page. We click back, and it goes right back. So we're halfway here. What we want to do next is change the cursor. So right now, we have a cursor that's almost like your typing cursor when you hover over it, but on our actual extension, it should, let's see, it should be something like this. So if I go to another page, let's go to Twitter. So something like this pointer. And I believe it's actually called a pointer. So we're going to change that. And to do that, we're going to change the style. So right here, we click on this element. I'm on my wrong. Right here, we click on this element. And we want to change the styling. And we want to add a new inline style because we don't want to change all the text paragraphs. And what we're going to do is we're going to add a new property. But I generally go to all props. It's a lot easier to find what I want there. And I go to cursor and pointer. I go to cursor. We're going to change this to pointer. We're going to do that same thing to this back button, new inline styling, cursor and pointer, change that to pointer. So now when I refresh my preview, you can see it changes. Now we go that, and now we have our pointer, and we go back. What we want to do next is to make this text dynamic based on the web page we're actually on. That's one of the points of Chrome extensions is leveraging what you're visiting on that particular web page. Again, if we go back to Twitter, you see it shows twitter.com. If we go to card, it's going to show me, if I go back, it's going to show me card. So what we want to do is make that dynamic. And it's really, really easy to make that dynamic in Builder. So what we're going to do is edit one of the flows we have. We're going to edit the page load flow. So the way we want to edit this page load flow is we want to add an action, and we type in Chrome, and we type in get info from browser. What we want is the domain name, but let's just change this. Let's go full URL, or let's change it to page title. And we're going to give it a variable name, and we're going to say page title. That's it for that part for now. What we want to do is go to the text we want to enter. We want to leverage this variable, and we're going to remove the default text that I have, and we're going to go to data. We're going to go from variable, and the variable name, we only have one variable in the project, which is page title. So right now, if we go and preview this, because it's not a Chrome extension, we can't do a whole lot. It doesn't even show the heading. It shows this heading, but it doesn't show that heading, because that's a dynamic heading based on features that's available to the Chrome extension. Again, if I show you what I have here, you can see right here, twitter.com. But when we go to card, it shows card.co. Don't worry about that. That should be fine when we export our Chrome extension. Is this everything? I think we have done everything. All we have to do now is export our extension, I believe. So we're going to export our extension. To export our extension, we want to click on, let's see. How did first I'm on the wrong project. This is the right project. But to export my extension, I just go click around a little bit. Okay. You want to go to the page properties, so you can actually open any, I guess, any page, but you want to ultimately go to the page properties of your home page, and you want to do export Chrome extension, and you're going to have to do some basic information when you're exporting your Chrome extension. I am going to leave it as Mr. Hackathon extension. I'm going to say Mr. Hack EXT for the short name. It says optional, but I do believe you need a short name. We're going to add a description. I'm going to call it multipage extension. To add a homepage URL, you have to add a marketing URL. So I'm going to add my personal website. With your main page URL, and this is the part we skipped, that is an important part that we're going to do right now. You're going to need the published production URL for this particular project. To do that, you click publish. And just to give you a little bit of context, what I was previewing in, this was a previewer. This is not a real published version. It's just a live preview. What we want to do is go to publish. We want to publish from development to production. We're going to add a builder subdomain for this particular project, and I'm going to call it Mr. Hack extension. Let's just say Mr. Hackathon extension. See if it's available. Okay, Mr. Hackathon extension is available. Click continue. Then we're going to click publish. Now I'm just going to check this. This is the published extension. So we need to get this URL. So I'm going to copy this URL, and we're going to go back and open this export Chrome extension settings. It maintains my settings, and what I want to do is go right here. I want to add the main page URL. Again, make sure it's the main page URL or your home page. You want to add a logo. As you can see, every Chrome extension has a logo. I'm just going to add this Chrome icon. Lastly, you can choose the placement. I'm going to choose, let's just choose top banner for fun. No, let's not choose top banner for fun. Let's choose right panel. We're going to export this and it downloads it directly. What you do want to make sure you do is you open it. I've opened it and unzipped it. And what I want to do now is to go to Chrome extensions. And this is how we're going to test this extension. As you can see, I've been playing around with a whole bunch of Chrome extensions using Builder. You want to click Load Unpacked. And we're going to find our extension here, Mr. Hackathon extension. As you can see, you need the unzipped version. That's why you need to open it when it downloads, or unzip it when it downloads. We're going to select that. Okay. I made a mistake in exporting. So we're going to go back. We're going to export Chrome extension. Right here, it needs to be HTTPS. I'm going to export this again. I'm going to open this again. And what we want to do is go back to extensions, load unpacked. I go back to my downloads. This should be it right here. Okay, so you can see my Chrome extension right here, Mr. Hackathon extension. And what I want to do is I want to click this puzzle. For me, it's the puzzle, and you can see Mr. Hackathon Chrome extension. I'm going to pin that to the taskbar. Oh, I think I pinned the wrong one. It's this one, Mr. Hackathon extension. So you can see my extension here. You can't open it inside this Chrome extensions. You have to open it somewhere else. So this is the test. I'm going to go to Twitter. And let me just refresh Twitter. Then I'm going to click the Chrome. As you can see, there's an error. So we're going to ignore that error right now. What we are going to do is see if the click here works. Okay, welcome to Hackathon Entertainment TV. We go back. Okay, the website is not showing up, so we're going to go back. And this is a good example of troubleshooting, and one of the advantages that Builder has. So page title from variable. If I go to properties, I just double check how I've had it on this side. And I think I did the same thing. Page title. Let's try our extension on another page. Let's go to Google. And let's try our extension here. Still an error. So we need to troubleshoot this. Okay, I think there's a flow we did wrong. So we're going to go back to our page load. And we did this slightly wrong. So what we want to do is delete that. We're going to do get flow, run flow on page. So we want to execute a flow on this page. And we're going to create a new flow that has this action of getting the domain. So we're going to call it action 1, get page title. And this time we're going to do the same thing we did before, Chrome extension. We want the page title and we're going to call it page. Now we're just double checking run flow on page. We want to run it on the current page. And the action we want to run is get page title. And that's it. When we hit this home page, it's going to run this action now, which should grab the page title of the browser tab name. So the interesting thing, and I just want to double check this, but I believe I shouldn't have to export the Chrome extension again. All I should be able to do is visit the tab that I want to visit, then the update should be automatic. So let's see if that's true. Maybe I might have to publish again potentially, but we'll just see. So if I click this, okay, let's go back and publish. I'm going to publish from development to production again. I am going to revisit the tab. I'm going to open my Chrome extension. And there's still an issue. This time, I believe the error is that the first thing I did is I didn't create the proper flow to be able to capture or to be able to find the page title. So we resolved that. But now we are getting the page title as a variable, but we're not setting the variable as this page title right here, as this heading. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to create another flow, new flow, and it's going to be called display info, maybe. And what I want to do is set the value, element set value. And I want to set the value of this page title. And the value is going to be is this variable called page title. So now, to help you understand what's going on, we have a couple things happening. On the page load, we have a flow that is running as soon as the page loads. And right now we're just focused on this particular page because this is the page that displays the information. The flow that it runs is this one, which is pre-built in Builder, and it's the get information from browser. And what we're getting is the page title from the browser, and we're saving that as we're giving it a variable name, and that's being saved as a variable name. Then what we do is set this heading element, and we give it. We're going to change that to text. We want it to be from variable. And we give it a value, and it says page where variable is. We know the variables on our current page, and we're going to give it it is using the variable name page title. So right now, if I publish again, this should be the last time or the last bug fix that we walk through. If we go, I am going to refresh this page. And when I click on this, we have a problem again. That is very interesting. So let's see. Let me actually try to export again. Now, I shouldn't have to keep exporting, but we're just going to try it because I think those are all the resolves that I needed to do. We're going to open it. We're going to go to extensions. I'm actually going to remove this other extension. Load unpacked. And we're going to go pin this extension. We're going to open Twitter. Let's open another website. Let's open a dollar. So we're going to click our Chrome extension. Okay, that's problematic. We have to try to figure out what is going on with that. Okay, it seems like we have resolved it. So if I click on Adalo, you can see Adalo build your own no-code app, which is the page title. If I click here, it will take me, or it'll take me to my next page. If I click back, it will take me back. So how do we solve this? And it's all coming down to flows in Adalo. So the first part of the flow is page load. So on page load, you want to tell it to run a flow, and you're going to say run a flow on this current page, and this is the flow we want to run. What is the flow we want to run? Well, we want to get the page title using this built-in feature, get information from browser. We're telling we want the value to retrieve, we want the page title, the variable name, you can give it any variable name. This is the part that we missed. You want to tell it to run an action after that, and you want to tell it to run another flow. That's the action we're going to tell it to run. What does this flow do? So we're going to jump to this. It's going to say, okay, after you retrieve the page title, set it to this particular element. This is the element that we're going to set it to. It's called page title. It's a heading that we have here that's invisible right now. We have to tell it where the variable it's getting it from is, or it's getting the value from is, and it's getting it from the current page. And what's the variable's name? Page title. Then all we do, and I like to keep doing this, is publishing. After we publish, we find that it works. So we have a very simple, in almost 40 minutes, and 10 minutes of that was troubleshooting. In almost 40 minutes, we have a multi-page Chrome extension that we are testing locally. It has the page title. We click here. It takes us to another page. We click back. Very, very simple. But you can build up functionality from here. You can add functionality to other things you're working on. To actually upload this to the store, you have to have a developer account to make Chrome extensions, which is only like £5. I'm in the UK, so it's only about £5 if I can remember. And maybe I'll do another video about uploading it to the store, but at least the point right now is to teach you how to make this basic functionality that you can build upon. If we go to Twitter again, we will be able to see that, that's the page title for Twitter. So that's it. That is your multi-page Chrome extension. Please like, comment, and subscribe for more content. Let me know in the comment section. Let me know by DMing me what kind of content you want me to build. I will be creating more Chrome extension content, especially since I have been fascinated with Builder for actually creating Chrome extensions without coding. There's lots of ideas I have for Chrome extensions, and this will be very interesting. I'll be producing more content, full builds and micro builds just like this one.